And she spoke words that would melt in your hands. And she spoke words of wisdom. To the basement people, to the basement, many surprises await you. In the basement people, in the basement. You heard that last time, you know we're gonna find you. Sick in the car seat cause you're not up to going out on the main streets, completing your mission. You heard that last time, you know we're gonna find you. Sick in the car seat cause you're not up to going out on the main streets, completing your mission. And she spoke words that would melt in your hands. And she spoke words of wisdom. To the basement people, to the basement, many surprises await you. In the basement people, in the basement. You heard that last time, you know we're gonna find you. Sick in the car seat cause you're not up to going out on the main streets, completing your mission. You hear that last time, you know we're gonna find you. Sick in the car seat cause you're not up to going out on the main streets, completing your mission. I showed you my picture. After the daylight, it started in the hotel. You have habits just like me. Talk too much with strangers. Get way too serious around family. And I don't have any wishes, but when I kiss you, our lips fit well. And I don't have expectations, but when I daydream, I fall asleep, and our hands melt. It started out as teasing, but I had deeper meaning when I touched your chest. Now I don't know how to act, but if I did, and I don't have any wishes, but when I kiss you, our lips fit well. And I don't have expectations, but when I daydream, I fall asleep, and our hands melt. But if I did, and I don't have wishes, our lips fit well, and I don't have expectations, but when I daydream, I fall asleep, and our hands melt.
Alright, what's good, y'all? Hello. Happy Wednesday. It's OMC day. Today we got the volatility. We got the movement. It's gonna be a good session. It's gonna be a good session. I already know.
You're the heat that I know. Listen, you are my sun.
Alright, let's get these charts up and running. Before we kick off, guys, as always, thank you for your time, your energy, your attention. I'm grateful. I don't take it for granted to be able to just work through what I see in the markets, hopefully give you some insight, some perspectives, maybe some breakthroughs here every once in a while. I'm glad that we are in a space where, honestly, I'm glad we're live right now. Like, just hearing my family stories, the things they've had to go through, I mean, gives me a lot of perspective. My life is on easy mode compared to what they had to do. So grateful every day. All I got to do is master myself, and abundance follows. So let's have the greatest day ever. Let's leave the past where it is, and let's just focus on crushing the right now. So let's dive into it. Welcome everybody in here. We got, what's up, Jay, Foz, Karen, Julian, Sniper Squad, Gabriel, Nick. Pending limit left without you. No. Oh, that's brutal. Even F, Joe, Luis, Seth. Guys, how about that gold sell from last night, huh? Syndicate Squad. 8. So shout out Sophia. 8 on that joint. Morning. Good evening, Kazakhstan. What up, Corey, Nate, Edgar, Alfredo, Larry, Brandon, Defi, Brandon UK, the British Brandon. Gold played out solid. Yeah, I hit TP on gold. Yeah, we're matching today. Let's go. What's up, Janko? Corey, Professor Von Wick here, Maria Lisa, Johnny, Fernando. All right, guys, let's dive in here. Let's look at what we got, what's in store for us today. So yeah, I'm gonna do a quick run through. We have New York Open in 7 minutes. A little bit later, I'll talk about the gold sell that we took and why, how I managed it, etc. But yeah, over the course of London session, Nasdaq actually chopped up for the most part. So we had a little bit of a rally to kick things off, but then consolidation. So you have just ranging, right? A lot of ranging and consolidation here for the most part. So that's kind of what you got going on right there, which basically means that kind of creates liquidity on both sides. So this is building up. So building up retail money right here. And I would say just about the same thing up here. Like the Tokyo highs do the same. So you can see it here. Tokyo highs, London, Tokyo lows. So it's a buildup of money for sure. And whereas you have, if we look at Dow Jones, it's a little different, right? Dow actually pulled back a bit more aggressively. And you have from Tokyo, you have it working its way down a bit more and more. So hopefully you can see that on the screen. It's just chopping, it's ranging during Asian session, and then it starts to slowly kind of grind and work its way down, and then it just swept yesterday's New York lows. That just happened here about 45 minutes ago. So let me show you guys that now. So you have it like right here. You're moving relatively sideways here. You could say, call it a trend line if you want as well, however you want to put it, but this is still sitting here. So you still have liquidity building up right here. And then if you zoom out, here was the lows that this thing just kind of took out. So you see Monday or Tuesday's New York session liquidity right there. So clears it, pumps. So now, right now, you might be thinking, okay, so should I be looking for buys with Dow Jones, right? Should we be looking for, oh, I gotta get a good stretch right now. Gotta loosen up, you know? Gotta be nimble in these markets. But does this give us a setup? For me, not really. We don't get a break of any sort of structure. And then when we sold off, you kind of see the aggressive sweep down. It breaks above here for 18 minutes or so. But we don't even get a 1 minute break of structure. This kind of just trades back into the range and then drops again. So I'm not going to push towards anything here. Nah, not making the entry, not making a trade. Maybe we look for a sell if the market clears these highs, and then we possibly can get like a shakeout setup. So maybe we clear some liquidity, do a little of this, and then we do a little bit of that. So something like this, all right, something like this I can see, but considering that there's more momentum, like that there's more bearish momentum with Dow, I'm not really gonna buy. Plus, I just feel like NASDAQ has opportunity to reject out of these zones. So speaking of which, we had structure where we were making lower lows on NASDAQ, lower highs, lower lows. It really struggles to maintain any of these lows. And then we finally get above this high. So here is where we see the first break through here. So let's see if we can change this line up. Kind of see it right there. Let's see, what do we prefer? What line? Dotted? We'll go with dotted. Switch it up a little bit. And then, yeah, so here's where we have that break of structure, change of character, whatever. Here we go. Over here, and we'll make this guy blue. And then we'll say bullish, because now we'll say the upside. And with that being said, here's where we start to see the last moves to the downside. So looking for buys in this range, I can totally understand. Like here's where you kind of get the last leg down, just all in this area before the market actually is pretty efficient on the way out. So if we are looking for some sort of buy over here, I think the big thing with possibly buying NQ here is this is a little tight. So you can consider this possibly liquidity. So if this is looking a little like, I don't know, what would give me the green light to take this trade would be context with the entire market. So if Dow, for example, it has swept all of the liquidity below it, like it's just melted down and it's been on an extreme, then NQ would make a bit more sense. And then regarding, let's say, buys, I would be looking for a stop a little bit tighter. So like here we've had decent pullbacks. You could even go for it, I think, right there. Maybe some of you would try to trade it right here. So it just depends on how, I guess, like what your beliefs are and what your management, like what your system tells you. Typically, I like to give myself at least a little bit more space. Not just the last push down. Sometimes I like to like wick under a little bit. So something like this, I can definitely see working out. And then, oh, my battery is dying on this laptop. Hold on, or my mouse. You know what's crazy? These Apple mouse, I think I talked about this before. How like the charger on the mouse for Apple is like at the bottom, so it makes it impossible to use. Like that's some of the most head-ass product management you could possibly have. But anyways, something like this looks good for NQ. We're seeing it push down right now. look at how Dow is going down. So if Dow starts to break below these lows, kind of trade below the lows of the week, Monday's lows, then I definitely like this a bit better. So as you can see there, what up, Jeff? All right, so yeah, so this looks decent. You know, kind of traded into here, little 2R action at least, if not further. So let's pull up YM real quick. Let's make this the 5 minute. All right, cool. So see, look at how we're trading right now. All right, I got the 10 minute right on here just so we can see the charts very clearly. Dow is dumping below. Look at that. This is what I wanted to see. Look at how Dow now cleared the low, this 730 low, took out yesterday's low for 1015, and it's trading into these imbalances. So that's fantastic. That's exactly what I want to see. So I'm going to set up my buy position on NQ. Take it somewhere over here. Stop loss a bit tighter. And then, oh, that zoomed in like crazy. And see if we can work our way all the way down. And since we've already got a 5 minute, higher high, I think we can bounce well. Conservatively, I think we can trade into like a 2R. So my entry over here is at below 2780. And then based on how this thing bounces back, I really feel like we can get a pretty good move. So setting my limit order here. Let's see what we can get. About 5 contracts down here. With the way that Dow is pushing down, I think we can get it, make it happen. So here is the play so far. Got some room to go. Dow can continue to work its way lower. So taking half R on this NQ buy. Cool. Take the half R if that makes more sense for you. Totally understand that. And things might shift. Like look at the way, and here this is why like the markets they're dynamic, right? We respond to what the market's showing us. Look at how Dow pushed down way more aggressively to kick things off and then ate this liquidity up. Just ate it up. Was like, oh, thank you for shopping. And it was a bloodbath. But now it worked its way right away in. So look at the difference right now. Dow instantly comes back up here. So what's interesting is, will we see a shakeout setup on Dow? Now that it liquidated, is this going to give us signs that the market's going to stay bullish up here, kind of trading above this 49,200, and then we get another little dip down, and then we get the buy. So this is totally an option as well for Dow, but it's an option. It's a possibility. It's not a guarantee. Sometimes you get signs that something like this can unfold, and then it just doesn't play out that way. So you can't just force something to happen. Like you got to let it actually show you what you need to see. Otherwise, you start trading just whatever you feel like. You start trading what you want to happen, what best serves you, instead of trading what just is happening. So here is the idea. I talked about, Dow getting into this range. I talked about this yesterday, in the last 2 days. Was possible. We have been in a consolidation here since last Thursday. So tons and tons and tons of liquidity is here now. We might really see the big move happen with Dow, considering just how much liquidity is there. But overall, all indices, I think, will rally with it. Always firefighters at this time. They know, it's going down. So they're here. Firefighters are doing their thing. So an interesting switch in price action right now. we got, you know, Dow coming down, up, while NQ is slowly grinding its way down. Major difference between price action is that NQ is starting to work its way lower and lower, while Dow already, you know, swept a whole bunch of liquidity. So at this point, I'm actually going to, like, this price action is a lot better on the 15 minute, right? The 5 minute is much better on NASDAQ. Whereas, so like right now, price action is starting to kind of switch over to where Dow is kind of starting to push up a little bit faster, a little bit more, while NQ is going a bit further down. So the price action right now is looking to favor Dow a little bit, but the price action on the 5 minute, 15 minute, and overall all the other higher time frames is more bullish on NASDAQ. So I want to see this unfold a little bit longer before I decide whether I'll, you know, risk a little bit less on this trade or just keep it the same way. So let's see how this unfolds. The sirens are just here for dramatic effect for Chicago. So right now we got a little order block rejection right there. I don't think that's going to be the last low. I think this is giving us one good bounce, lure in some buyers, and I wonder if we get one more leg down. So I think we're going to get one more leg down. If not, and it rips, then, you know, hey, it is what it is. If it clears these highs, then that's it. That's a wrap. But I think we still got a shot at this. Okay, I'm going to go single screen. I don't think we need them side by side too much anymore. It looks like NQ is holding up again better than Dow. So price action kind of, for a few minutes there, looked a little bit more bullish on Dow Jones. But now we're moving forward. And Q rejecting off OB, 2.8R for me. Nice. So you traded something like this. Something like this and something like this. Clean, super clean. Not my trading style, but like I like it. Why would this not count as the order block rejection for you? Just because it was like in a different context? There was no higher high, it was just kind of building out liquidity? Just out of curiosity. So yeah, cool, clean order block rejection there. 5 minute. Nice. What do I think of Euro USD? I haven't looked at it yet today. I have a 1 hour sell zone towards the top, but that's about it. Cool. Dow's still way more bearish, so we're in good hands here. We're staying pretty patient. The limit's set. All right, drop an NQ in the chat if this is something that you're looking to take, whether it's half risk, full risk, or if, and then drop a 0 in the chat if you're like, nah, it's not really my trade. Okay, cool. Now, what could be an interesting play would be the order block here, this 1 minute order block on Dow. I'm curious about this later on. So first I want to let it, let it play out. Let this unfold. But I am curious about what this could look like. This isn't necessarily a sell zone for me just because it doesn't take out a lot of liquidity and there's even more liquidity here. So it's not necessarily like something I'm looking to take advantage of here off the rip. Alright. S&P soup in the low would be a nice confirmation. Absolutely. Yeah. So NQ in its own lane, doing its own thing. For all we know, this is possibly a shakeout setup. It takes out London, Tokyo high lows, like we had talked about, trades into yesterday's New York session. So if we maintain this, so similar to what I was originally talking about with Dow, if we just kind of chop it up here, we create some sort of, this is right now would be enticing break and retest sellers. So if retail sellers get enticed a bit more and then even get into some profit, this could be, the next leg up right here. And then, so there's a possibility for another opportunity somewhere over here. Just a matter of seeing this with some, like, just letting it do its thing for a little bit longer. So we'll see. For you, Dow and NQ have negative correlation? No, not negative correlation. Like, what do you mean by negative correlation? Like, to go away from each other? Or no, they're not like an inverse correlation. There's just divergence at times. All right, so cool. S&P. Interesting. S&P rebalanced pretty nicely here. This initial bounce had the added benefit of not just that order block on NQ, but S&P also became efficient playing and rejecting this last sell-off. So, I am curious if this is going to be sustainable or not. But if we do get a New York low sweep, and that, for example, S&P goes lower, then I would be very interested in where that sets up NQ for longs. So okay, we'll be definitely putting all the pieces together for this, because this will be of massive value. Gold absolutely dumping. Ooh. Higher time frame zone now. Hello, buddy. We have our last point of supply here. I was looking for buys here before. I wanted to see what silver's looking like here as well. Silver trading into April 7th's low right there. This was like the low before the run. So right now, silver is on structure-wise trading significantly better. So honestly, I prefer silver buys. The only downside with silver is the contracts are crazy. So I like the buys on silver, but this stop is just too massive for a trade. So I'm going to just let this thing work its way down. If it can work its way down to a real tight entry, then I'm open to it. Because as much as I want to pull the trigger on gold, I can just see gold breaking this low too. So I think I'd have to wait for a small time frame shift to get that added confirmation for just the proper, to have a properly sized trade. Yeah. I feel like I don't have conclusive evidence on whether indices are done dropping. Dow is still bleeding out. here. Just took out New York lows. Look at that. Just took out New York lows. Wow. This is trading towards like the beginning of this pump. Meanwhile, NQ is like, all right, cool. So yeah, I like this, guys. NQ shakeout for me, valid. Setting the limit right here. It's looking good. So I'd rather pull the trigger on this. Oh my God, my mouse is going crazy. All right, here we go. I'd rather pull the trigger on this. It just took out the low. Honestly, it might not hit here, but the RR is still worth it for me. So, here we go. This thing is mad right now. I need to fix my mouse. So I basically want to market execute this, but my mouse is dying. No. God damn it. Dude, what the hell? And I don't have a backup, or I don't know where it went. This is the saddest thing ever. See if I get lucky and it triggers me back in. Alright. 5 seconds charging. Is this not the saddest thing you've ever seen? Okay, here we go. Cancel that. Fucking A, dude. That's retarded. Ugh. Death by mouse, dude. That is very irritating. You can see it on my face, hopefully. I'm pissed. I'm so pissed. I couldn't market execute because of this fucking mouse. Are you kidding me? What the hell, dude? Oh my God. Always come prepared. I feel like these things are supposed to tell me. Okay, so anyways, we haven't broken this high. So I would have wanted to see that first. Like to really sweep liquidity. So if we get another pull down to at least a decent entry, then I'm open to taking that right here. Right now we're still kind of building up liquidity. So honestly, I'm gonna keep my entry here. Where are you? I'm gonna keep my. Did I delete the trade? Hold on. Let me just get my life together over here. I think there's a chance we still get this here. So it is what it is. I think we can spike below and get triggered in. It seems like it's gonna keep ranging. And as I went into the 15-second time frame here, it looks like it's still loading up. So if it works its way, then it does. So let's see here. If it's gonna get one more spike down, if not, then whatever. So be it. On the bright side, you have Dow way down there. S&P did its business. Gold holding up, so that gold trade could work out considering just the entire asset class. Everything is looking like it's in reversal territory. So we'll see. But I mean, you can't get too frustrated despite technical difficulties here, because at the end of the day, like, it's one trade. Also, I'm already up real nice on the trading day due to gold. So would it have been a beautiful entry? Sure, but we don't even know, right? For all we know, the market can come back down, trigger in the lower entry and then make its run. So sometimes it's like in the moment it feels like you might be missing out on something, when in reality, like, it still has another opportunity to position you in. So worst case is gone, right? Which I believe is going to be what happens right now. Did anyone else take this? Let me know. So it's poking above the few minutes of highs that it was making. So at this point now, I wouldn't chase it. So I'm gonna delete my limit here. Delete the limit in gold. But yeah, NQ ripping. So you guys see the example here. This was the trade. Shakeout successful. Caught it barely. Nice. And then at this point, I would move my stop to entry. So risk-free trade. And we're seeing definitely way more momentum with NASDAQ than anything else. So yeah, hold that. Hold the line there. Because if it doesn't hold up, let's say the market wants to keep going lower, then this lower zone is still valid for me. So right now, played cleanly off the order block. We set up for a shakeout, so this could go. There's the first incentive, which would be to liquidate over here or the London highs. If this just loses momentum and keeps working its way down, then I have this lower entry. Because at the end of the day, the market pulled back decent, right? This structure gave us about a 618 pullback, so a healthy retracement. I still see some imbalance over here, so I think there's still a chance this goes lower. So no need to force it, especially if like the move already happened. Like if the internal move existed, which means there was already an exchange of money. Like there was a reason money came in for buyers to liquidate those sellers, but it doesn't mean it needs to go up forever, right? We may not have all of the liquidity necessary to drive price as high as we would possibly want it to see. To answer some questions, but for you, what does divergence mean? I mean, how do you use it as a confirmation for sells or buys? So I don't use it. Divergence on its own doesn't give me a confirmation to enter the market, right? For me, it's a final confirmation to time the entry. So for example, like I have basically two entry models. One I call the mitigation, one I call shakeout. And so since typically correlating assets like NASDAQ, Dow Jones, S&P, since those all move relatively similar, a lot of times, then things start to, you want to be able to choose, all right, well, which one do I want to take? Which one makes more sense? And so when you start seeing similar structure, similar setups, but one is making on small time frames lower lows while the other one's making higher lows, and you're looking to buy, that'll help. So if I were to break it down for you, like for example here, right, we were seeing the shakeout setup, and then NQ started to do this and this was making, let's say, a higher low, while Dow was still making lower lows. So we're seeing kind of the same thing exist, but just not the same way. So when you see something like this, especially in your entry, like area of interest, and this is making lower lows instead of higher lows, then okay, well, if I'm looking to buy, I want to go with what has momentum to the upside. So this is one example of divergence. Another is when they're actually moving basically the same, but one is just less aggressive in that direction and one is more. So this one was dropping down at a slower pace, which is what gave it that extra benefit. Dow still holding up. S&P, decent bounce. There's that chance that S&P is going to go for those New York lows. So we'll keep an eye out on what happens with NQ still. But yeah, for those of you buying NAS that were in buys on NAS, I'd say stops in profit now. So I'd be trailing my stop loss, especially with big pumps like this. Initially trailing it down to here, just in case it wants to just liquidate and reverse on you, and you can catch something. So here, I'd say about a 1 R into profit. It's a little less, about 30 points into profit if you're in this one. The sad thing is, you know what's funny? I woke up at like 1:30 in the morning to walk my dog. She was like just freaking out for some reason. And I came over to, because I had a gold trade running, and you know, like just manage it since I happened to be up. Otherwise, it would have just been running. And I noticed that my mouse was kind of weird. And so I like found the cable, whatever, plugged it. And then I unplugged it to make an adjustment, and then I left it unplugged. So that was the price for not being as precise and diligent that I had to pay. Big price. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. NQ. Hopefully you guys can get your profits on this one. And then it can come back for me later. That's fine. But today, remember, there is FOMC. So there's a possibility of some movement today. No guarantee we have any interest rates move today. But at 1 p.m. Central Time, we do have that happening later. So it's expected, thank you so much, it's expected to stay the same. We'll see. Let's zoom out a little bit, and so let's go take a look at other assets and how they're moving. Dow's starting to run a little bit. You missed me freaking out because my mouse died and I couldn't execute. So nice, gold with the rally. So alignment there. I know we were talking about gold and NQ being able to reverse in that moment. Silver also. Did anyone take the gold buy down here? I know we were talking about the possibility of it if there were other confirmations. I think when NASDAQ was giving its confirmation for the shakeout, that was a good confirmation for metals to go up too. I would love to see, thank you, a little extra. Do you mind putting creatine and aminos in this thing? My brain is dead. Will I stream FOMC? Yeah, I'll be live for FOMC. So if we can get an accumulation in here, then we can let this bad boy rip a little more. I'm not gonna force it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, cool. Currently in gold buys. Nice, Sean. Nice, Mr. Meadows. What's good? Took gold 45.32, clean. Yeah, I think we talked about that on Saturday, maybe. We talked about gold buys. Si rompe ese alto en 5 minutos, entonces esperaría la mitigación en ese nuevo rango en 5 minutos. Julián, ¿hablas de Nasdaq, de oro? Nah, silver was more bullish, and so I couldn't take gold. Yeah, that was my thought process too. Looking at metals, silver wasn't dropping as aggressively, and it was at a better zone. So unfortunately, I'm not. I don't have the drawdown I would want to for that. Oh, thank you. Like checking it here, I would have been risking just with one micro. It was like $1,600 risk on one micro. And that's not it. I'm not trying to do that. No, sir. Not on props. No chance. Okay, I think Patrick talked about, I think I saw this message somewhere. I might have missed it, or maybe you retracted it. I love the activity in the chat, guys. You know, this, you gotta be engaged. Oil here. We got the squeeze, the breakout. Oil is ascending. Full ascension here. What a move. This was it though. Once this swept here, right? Once it swept the low here and came back in, this was the shakeout. Or this is where it squeezed. I wanted the entry lower. It wasn't as friendly. Took the long on Dow. How do I feel about that? Well, one, I mean, I'm not. Obviously, you have your own system. You have your own entry model. So I'm never going to say, oh, you guys are wrong for doing anything, because there's a whole bunch, so many ways to approach the market for so many different reasons. But what I'm not in longs. So that's, I mean, obviously I think that says something about that. Like, I don't think buying Dow Jones is the best move right now, because we just have a lot more momentum, or we did, noticing NQ just start to drop. But Dow has, or unless this is the moment where we have that switch up in price action. But for now, Dow had been just sweeping so aggressively without any signs of bullishness. So typically I don't like to buy what's dropping the most aggressively. However, what's on your side is the fact that we broke this low. So we broke that, was this Thursday? Right, that Thursday flash crash. We just cracked it right there. What the heck, man? I need to find this mouse. Huh? I don't even know where it would be. Did I take it to Japan? No. But yeah, so you see how we cracked those lows over there. That's a whole bunch of liquidity. So now the market can set up for kind of a reversal here. It's possible, but we want further evidence. Like, I won't take it just because it cracked the low. So now we're seeing the switch up. This is where things get a little bit tricky, a little bit interesting. Because now we're seeing the switch up between Dow, thank you, and is this thing connected still? Now here's the other question, is where is the thing that connects to this? Yeah. Nah, it's the keyboard one. At one point it was. Well, so that's where we're at right now, guys. It's a matter of seeing how price unfolds here. If we keep seeing this difference, the opposite happening, then it might make sense. It might make sense to take positions on Dow. For now, kind of not enough. The trilogy of broken mice starring Mike Navarrete. You know, I didn't think this is how I was gonna make my debut. Thought it was gonna be a little bit more hype, but it is what it is. So let's see what happens here. But possibly. En el NAS reaccionó el alto. Para mí no es cambio de estructura esto. So this is not breaker structure for me on NAS. Not even close. So I wouldn't buy NQ right now. We don't have any break of the highs. So I'm staying out of NQ until And the lower zone is more interesting to me than this right now. Shakeouts on YM could be a possibility though. So I'm not taking that out of potential. Okay, moving past metal, oil, the difference here, right? We talked about possibly looking for buys on Australian if it makes sense across all accounts. So pound at these lows, not it for me. We didn't get a break above structure, and then after it swept liquidity, it filled the entire thing. CAD futures, deep retracement, making equal lows. Euro, imbalance, but no breaks of structure. No strong ones for me yet. Okay, let's see. Euro USD on futures is 6E. NCD hasn't gotten into its mitigation zone yet. Has it not? I feel like it has. NCD is trading lower than the zone. NZD trading way down here. I think we're in reversal territory with... Oh, okay. I see what you guys are saying though regarding buys with whether it's Australian, Euro, Pound. So I think we're in reversal territory now with majors. It's just a matter of which one. Like which one is going to be cleanest for you. The 5-minute went bullish on Euro. Here's your spike down. Right now, price action. So this is where it gets a little annoying, but you have Euro making higher lows. So that's good for Euro. Same thing with, not with the Pound. And then Australian is still making lower lows. So if I were to make a choice on this between all majors, I would go with Euro. Because this is the one that's showing us signs. So I like this better with Euro. Higher time frame, not as great, but this is what right now is showing us better signs. So Euro buys make the most sense for me. Like right here. And then would be moving this over. And then taking this to highs, I could see this for sure. Now you have a bigger time frame entry with something like Australian, since it's playing out of a bigger zone. So it's kind of like what makes more sense to you. That's it. What are you doing, dude? Naz wildin'. So yeah, if you wanted to pick your spot here, I like Euro. If you wanted to zoom out a little more, kind of have a bigger stop, then I also understand that. So I'm gonna take a swing at the market here. I like the buys. I'm under leveraged here a little bit. And then yeah, my stops are a little bit wider right there. So taking the Euro trade initially, this is what we had talked about before, for a position. I don't need another break of structure for it. Like I'm trading the mitigation of this, and that starts, the sell-off starts not even right there, it starts a little bit higher. So here's where this all starts to dump, like right there. Stalls for like 5 minutes and then dumps again. And these are buys, so longing. buy zones right there. And so we're good. Vaughn said I'm taking pound. Cool. I like the divergence. I like that we're getting higher lows on euro instead, while pound is still going lower lows. So that's why I went with that choice. And then Australian looks like it's playing out, so, or it's doing its thing. Australian I liked originally because of the higher time frame structure. We saw a 15-minute structure make clean higher highs, hold up really well, and then it's traded down into between the 786 and the 886. So 15-minute looks super nice on Australian, while we're getting, you know, a different type of movement here with the euro. So here's Australian, and then here is the euro. So you mean putting them both together? I guess it depends on what kind of trade you want to take. So the low, this is going to be the bane of my existence. One sec, yo. Let me try to find something real quick. Is this thing plugged in? This is the equivalent of like getting a rock in your shoe. Like imagine a marathon runner just getting a rock in his shoe. Can't finish the race. So dumb. So why didn't you break world records today? Yeah, I got a rock in my shoe, man. Times are tough. So yeah, this was that crash from Thursday's crash for euro. All of these did the same thing. Pound, Australian, and so look at that, great rejection, stronger rejection right now on Australian. Pound doing its thing, CAD doing its thing, euro slowly doing its thing. So maybe I took the wrong choice. Cool, that's okay. And then from here, I want to see it push towards at least London highs. Maybe we go even further, but we have a long way to go with euro. I have my point of interest way, way, way up here. But this is obviously for the higher time frame, way over here. So I like to make sure like things are visible as they should be. So you don't want to have too much overlap. Your charts get too messy, too crazy. But good looks on the dollar, guys. Good looks on the dollar. If we start breaking above these highs, I'm going to have some alerts here so we can just manage well. Ooh, CAD ripping. Australian going nice. All right, so those are majors. Patrick, thanks for bringing that up to my attention. For some reason, I guess I didn't have an alert for it. Okay, metals moving along. S&P pushing. Dow pushing. NQ chilling now. I'm gonna delete my limit here on NQ so I can just set it later. And this way I can just respond to whatever's happening in the market. Yeah. Okay, so now with the way we've seen Dow develop, it crashed to liquidate days and days and days worth of retail buyers, broke even below Thursday's low, so that this was like an anchor for a lot of stop losses. So if anyone's buying, right, so that just look at that big spike down on the 23rd. So when you see that move, you know, that's what's like anyone buying in the consolidation and they were trying to swing trade something, their stop loss was below that 49, like 40. So once it breaks the market, like there's just so much opportunity Because like if there's all of these positions that get closed below there, right, that means that there's the opportunity to buy tons of positions below those levels. So that's why you can get reversals like we got right now. It's not always going to happen like that. Right? Sometimes it'll go lower or higher. But now that it happens this way, we have an opportunity to make that, to get a shakeout here, because now it's swept that way, right? So, okay, cool. We have that euro break above. So we're starting to see majors push, looks like, nicely here. All right, breaking out, breaking out, breaking out. Sweet. So we got a nice move at this point. All right, we got about a move, very clean move here. With the type of squeeze and breakout that we're getting and the retracement that we're getting, I don't see the need to, continue to have a full risk at play here. So I'm going to reduce my risk here. I'm actually going to reduce my risk to there. And now I have like 1.5 points of a risk, and this thing can kind of, keep on treading along. How much did I make early? So with this account that I have on here, which is my leader account, so just to kind of talk you guys through, wait, why didn't this copy over? What? No way, dude. Were the contracts too big? Dude, that's a bummer if it didn't copy over. Okay, it didn't copy over. Not enough margin. Fuck. Why would it do that? No. No. Was it because of my limit order? That's so sad. Bruh. No way. That one copied over. This one did not copy over. Oh, I hit the max on the day. Okay. Well, that's fine. This one didn't copy over. This one didn't copy over. Fuck. That's some shit right there. I always forget that. Margins are so much tighter on majors for some reason. So, something for all of y'all to learn through my mistakes with at least copy trading. As soon as you take a position, just quickly glance over and make sure, see if things copied over or not. Apparently I just didn't have the margin on these to do that. Well, whatever. On the bright side, if I had lost this trade, I would have felt good, right? I would have been like, sick, I got away with it. I got lucky. All right, whatever. So, interesting. I mean, I have this split, so I feel like if you don't get opened at the contract that you want, it should auto drop you so that it would open like to the most available contract. Okay, like let's say if you can only take 2, then open up 2. Like obviously you want to be in the trade. I'm salty. what I do want to figure out, and I haven't ever really looked into this, but maybe some of you know. If you have a limit order open, does that take up some of your margin available, even if it isn't open? So if someone wants to look that up for me, I am curious. Actually, I guess I'll look it up. Let's see here. I feel like the answer is no, but I don't know, maybe. No! Fuck, that was why. It was the limit. I didn't even need the limit. Damn. Alright, that makes more sense. I was like, this should open. Yeah, you know? I did it to myself. Can't even be mad. Can't even be mad about it. I did it to myself. Well, no wonder. So let's see, what other way am I gonna fuck this up today? Yeah, that's wild, bro. That's crazy. My ear didn't copy over either on my Lucids. Yeah, so if you had well, also remember you have different margin requirements. How do I set a stop after calling in on Lucid? Can you rephrase that? So, are you in a buy? If you're in a buy, remember it's a sell stop. So, are you doing it on? So I'm gonna go into what I was gonna say, but I want to make sure like we can help you. I can help you with this. Are you on TradingView or are you on Tradevit? Scaling. TradingView, okay. So yeah, okay, let's say you want to put another one. So right click where you want to put it, and then if you're in a buy, so you want to have your stop loss. Oh, you're on Tradevit. Okay, so if you're on Tradevit, then here, let me see if I can pull up my other account here. So you should be able to just kind of click on your screen and you'll see sell limit, buy stop. You'll see sell stop, buy limit, whatever. So if you're in a buy, there'll be a little number on the top right, which will be the contract that you want to use. So do you see the number on the top? So make sure that says whatever contract you want it to be. And then tap on your screen exactly at the price that you want, and then it'll say sell stop. So if you're in a buy, you want to put sell 1 stop, and that would stop you out if it were to drop. Let me know if that makes sense and if that helps. Lucid accounts let you trade on TradingView. Any TraderVate account lets you trade on TradingView. Yeah. Yeah, any account that runs through NinjaTrader, TraderVate, it lets you do that. So if it's personal account, if you're trading your own money, live account, you need at least $1,000 in the account, and then it'll get that to you for free. Otherwise, if you have under 1,000, then it's like a $25 add-on or something. So you might as well just fund it properly. All right. So fun fact: if you have a limit order pending, and it doesn't need to be, delete that shit because it definitely takes up your margin. I didn't get activated on my other account either. Gotta handle rage bait well. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is like, it compounds. This has been a compounded rage bait day for sure. But it's to get me right for FOMC, you know what I mean? But at this point, like, we still good. Just missing out on thousands of dollars. No big deal. My table would have been flipped. I would have blicked my computer. Hey, nice. Good stuff, Jeremy. Jay on the gold. Look at you. All right, metals. Yeah, metals moving nice. Will we see a shakeout on Dow, and does it make sense to take that more? NQ still more bullish than Dow, so I probably wouldn't. Any zones? This lower zone on NQ. Oh my god, what's that? Just got blinded. Oh my god. The sun's reflecting off some building and it just like messed me up. You see that down there? Mm-hmm. What the heck? That felt personal. I am getting attacked right now. Is this what victim mindset sounds like? Yeah. My mouse doesn't work. My mouth doesn't work. The contracts. The sun. The world's against me, guys. Nothing's my fault. It couldn't possibly be.
Yeah, you couldn't possibly charge your mouse.
Listen, pal. What, did you take anything today?
No, I was getting our coffee and walking our dog.
Thanks for walking our dog and getting her coffee. Another sign of victim mindset is deflection. Well, what did you do today? Oh, good shit, man. All right. Majors doing their thing. Bitcoin pumped and why am I in the 4 minute? When did this happen? Mitigation. Oh yeah, this was it from earlier. This also really helped. Whoa, anyone take this Bitcoin sell? What a beauty. That's just clean right there. That's just right. Alright. Yeah, so I'll be live again later, guys. What time is it? 9:30. Alright. Y'all are getting sick of me. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Damn, why did Weeble dump today? That's not cool. Etsy with the 10% pump. Visa with the 9% pump. Jesus. Can never go wrong buying, like, I think we gave an entry on this not too long ago. In this gap, I think I bought a little bit. I don't think I bought too much. Once it cleared this low. And then, but like, you can always count on Americans going into debt. For sure. Starbucks another 7% today. Intel another 7% today. T-Mobile 5% today. Yeah. What else is pumping today? AMC dump. Solar took a hit. My solar positions are like back at entry. I was up too, pretty fat. Robinhood took a massive dump. Okay. I think I'll pick up a little bit of Coinbase today. Where are we at? Etsy. Etsy ripping, dude. Earlier this year, we picked up some more. Well on its way. I'm looking at exits above 77 now. So anyone that's been picking this up, I'm looking for exits above 77. Might let this rip into the 80s before I take some off the table. FOMC, I'll probably do it here. We'll see. I'll let you know. You guys will find out. I'll make a post in our school, whether it's here, just on there, exclusive. But guys, before I go, remember, we got the fast track tonight. So if you have no experience in futures and you want to, this is a webinar. We're going to break down the webinar and what that 30 days is going to look like. If you are pretty new to trading, or you feel like you've been new for way too long, and you want to break out of that, then check out the webinar so you can see what our 30-day fast track looks like, what that really means. So it's really just about being super hands-on with every step of the way from scratch, but it's fast-paced. So understanding, how to open up your accounts, how to take positions live, how to open up not just live accounts, but prop firms, the technical strategies, like every little detail, so that you're doing a prop challenge or you're trading your own small account with confidence based on a system with an exact playbook. So 30 days hands-on, like you have a workbook you go through, exercises and all that good stuff. So if you want to learn more about that, then go ahead and don't miss 2 nights session where we break it all down for you guys. So you can register right there with that link. Otherwise, for the rest of you, I will see you in just a few hours, right? See you guys in a little over 3 hours. Have a great rest of your session. Charge your things. Be diligent with your accounts. Don't look straight into the sun and just go touch some grass or something. But take care, y'all. Peace out.